We are following breaking news this Tuesday morning as one Israeli was killed, 3 others wounded in an attack on the West Bank. We do have some live images coming in from our partners, courtesy of Reuters. Take a look at this as the scene is still quite active. The Associated Press also saying this, that Israel's rescue service said this follows a spate of settler attacks on Palestinians across the occupied territory. The violence came a day after the UN Security Council gave its backing to U.S. President Trump's blueprint to secure and govern Gaza. Hamas rejected that plan. The Israeli military said that the ramming and stabbing attack took place at the busy Gush Etzion junction south of Jerusalem, a site of many past attacks by Palestinian militants. Israel's emergency rescue services said that a 30-year-old man died of stab wounds. 3 others were hospitalized, including a woman in serious condition and a teenager in moderate condition. It was not immediately clear who carried out the attack or how many assailants participated. We're working to get some more of these live feeds here as several reporters and photographers are out there on the scene, but you can see that a lot of the law enforcement, their officers are still there investigating this attack. This is a breaking news story, a developing story. Now, the AP goes on to say this, that settler violence has flared in the West Bank. In the latest attack today, or on Monday, I should say, Israeli settlers rampaged through a Palestinian village, torching homes and cars. The violence drew a rare condemnation from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and other top leaders. I want to bring here yet another vantage point that we have of this breaking news, a bit of a closer view here, as several of these law enforcement officials there are on site to investigate. Israel's military is sending soldiers and police to investigate this, but they also sent them to that Palestinian village where that attack happened on Monday after reports of fires and vandalism. Hours earlier on Monday, clashes erupted between Israeli security forces and settlers defending an unauthorized outpost on a nearby hill, facing evacuation and demolition on Monday. Israeli police said earlier that 6 suspects were arrested in confrontations during the demolitions, with dozens of settlers entrenched and throwing stones and metal bars and burning tires. This comes again as Prime Minister Netanyahu on Tuesday applauding the UN's approval of the Trump administration's plan for a post-war Gaza. The resolution does provide a wide mandate for an international force to provide security in war-devastated Gaza. It approves a transitional authority called the Board of Peace to be overseen by President Trump and envisions a possible future path to an independent Palestinian state. That plan also calls for the stabilization force to ensure, quote, the permanent decommissioning of weapons from non-state armed groups. It authorizes the force to use all necessary measures to carry out its mandate in compliance with international law, which is UN language for the use of military force. But again, these are the live images that we're getting from this breaking news, a developing story that we are following for you on this Tuesday morning. Going back to some of the facts that we know so far, an Israeli was killed and 3 wounded in an attack at an intersection in the West Bank, according to Israel's rescue service, following a spate of settler attacks on Palestinians across the occupied territory. The violence comes a day after the UN Security Council gave its backing to U.S. President Trump's blueprint to secure and govern Gaza. Hamas has rejected that plan. The Israeli military said that the ramming and stabbing attack took place at the busy Gush Etzion junction south of Jerusalem, a site of many past attacks by Palestinian militants. Israel's emergency rescue services said a 30-year-old man died of stab wounds. 3 others were hospitalized, including a woman in serious condition and a teenager in moderate condition. It was not immediately clear who carried out the attack or how many assailants participated. So we're going to be seeing the photographer and reporters on the ground there, trying to get the best vantage point so that we can see this active scene at this time. And we do have several of those live images. I'm going to bring you back to this other one that is a little further away. Well, actually, let's stay on this one for just a moment here. As you can see, a lot of those investigators there trying to figure out exactly what happened. And again, these cases of violence do continue, not even in the war zones. But heading out to this other vantage point that we have, a little bit more widespread there, you can get a better picture of exactly where this is happening at that intersection, as it looks to be that a lot of just regular people maybe walking down. You see another photographer there with their camera. No doubt they're going to be getting more updates later on today, and we'll have them for you here, as always, on Live Now from Fox.